How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another video. My name is John. I'm here today with Patrick Volvo Cars, part of the Patrick Dealer Group in Schaumburg, Illinois. And it's a very rainy day today, so thought we'd do something a little bit different. I'm going to take you through a full walkthrough of Volvo's new infotainment system. This is in all of the newest 2025 models, so like the EX30, the XC90, and the EX90, which I'm sitting in now. So let's go walk through all the features of the newest Volvo infotainment system. All right, starting off on the main menu here. Of course, this is going to be very navigation-centric. That's going to be what you're going to be using most in the car, so it's what's going to display most in the infotainment system. Makes a lot of sense. Key thing to note with all Volvo models, all of the infotainment, the navigation, voice assistant, everything is all powered by Google. It has built-in Google Assistant, so really you don't need to use any of the system here at all. All you have to do is just tell the car what you want to do, and it's going to do it for you. All you have to do is just say, "Hey Google," it'll pop up, and then it's just going to do whatever you tell it. So, for instance, if we want to go back to the dealership, we'll just go, "Hey Google, take me to Patrick Volvo Cars in Schaumburg, Illinois."
There's a Patrick Volvo Cars 0.2 miles away.
Right there. Took
When
what,
you navigate there?
2 seconds, and then you can just hit start, or you can just say, "Yes, take me there," and it will do that. Just fantastic. Works super fast in here too. One of the fastest loading navigation systems I've ever seen in a car. Literally like 2 seconds, and it knows where to go, the best routes, everything, and we'll just start taking you there. So definitely a great system there. Everyone uses Google Maps, so it's just fantastic that it's integrated right into the car. You don't have to use your phone. You already have the best navigation system available. Of course, Google Assistant can do plenty of other things. If you want to call people, play radio stations, just about anything in the car, it will do that for you. All you have to do is just say those magic words, or you just hit the Google Assistant button on the screen there, and then it will automatically load up. Next up on this left side tile here, we have your music. Of course, this car has AM, FM, satellite, everything. Comes with a trial of Sirius XM radio whenever you purchase the car. But you can imagine, you can go through all of here, and you have steering wheel controls for your seek for tracks, volume, everything like that as well. Or you can, again, just ask Google to play whatever radio station you want, and it'll do it for you. Pretty good. And it's also worth noting that this particular car that I'm sitting in has the Bowers & Wilkins sound system in it. It's a $3,200 option, but it is absolutely incredible, the sound of this car. It's already so quiet in here. The sound deadening is incredible. You really do feel like you're just in this cocoon of luxury. There's speakers absolutely everywhere in the car. You got this awesome tweeter up on the top of the dash. It sounds unbelievable in here. If you're an audiophile like myself and you like just blasting music as you're driving around, definitely upgrade for the Bowers & Wilkins sound system. It is one of the best I've ever heard in my life. Next up on the right side is going to be for your phone. I don't have my phone currently connected, but you can imagine it's going to show up all your contacts, tell you who's calling, when they called, everything. You can call people straight through here. Just super simple to use. And again, sound quality for phone calls, which usually is kind of bad in a lot of cars. You have to kind of blast it to hear somebody whenever they're talking through the speakers. Sounds fantastic in here. And then down at this bottom row here, this is going to be all of your kind of most used apps and things. These are going to change depending on what you use most in the car. Right now it's in kind of a demo mode, and no one's really kind of messed around with everything, so it's all pretty standard in here. It'll look very similar when you purchase your EX90, which I hope you do, from Patrick Volvo Cars. So for instance, right now we just have a Bowers & Wilkins kind of experience, XM radio, and the regular radio on there too. And then down on the right side here, this is going to be a little bit more specific per model. Not every car does all of these things, but this one, of course, has everything. That's why I brought it out for you. So, of course, you got your camera button. This car has a ton of cameras all around it. It's got like 9 cameras on the outside, plus the LiDAR system up at the top. So you can see absolutely everything, including my kind of poor parking job here, but whatever. I'm in an empty parking lot. Who cares? But you got the surround view cameras on here. Looks fantastic. Super crispy details. It is all very real time as well. So anything that's kind of right behind you is going to be right behind you. Say, for instance, this person walking back here. And I really appreciate that they matched the spec of the actual car that you're driving to what shows up in the graphics. Looks fantastic. It's even got the same little wheels on here. I can almost even picture myself sitting in that driver's seat there. Just looks fantastic. And then you also get a couple other views here too. So if you want your front camera there or your backup camera, it'll do kind of a split screen to give you both angles too, which is really nice. You got this giant screen in here, so they're going to take advantage of all that real estate, give you all the information right there all at once. And then next up here, again, this one's kind of specific to some of the new models, but you do have a glove box button. There's no handle down here, so if you want to open up the glove box, you just tap the button there and the glove box will open. And then you have the max defroster, something that's always good if you want to clear off the windshield fast. You don't want to dig around through menus and things. You always got a shortcut for it right there. Then down at the bottom, your home row here, you have your home button, which will take you to the home screen, which we're on now. This button is to go to your apps. If you want to get more apps, you can go into the Google Play Store down at the bottom, download a whole bunch of them, make the car kind of have a bunch of cool features and extra stuff in here. But I'm going to focus on what comes standard in the car. So up at the top, you got your Bluetooth, of course, number one thing everyone's going to be going to whenever they get in their car. They want to play their music. You got your radio, you got your phone. And then with range and trip, this is going to be for all of your kind of driving stats. Of course, this is an electric vehicle, so there's a lot of information that goes along with that. So your estimated range, your consumption, your kilowatt hours per mile, all of that good stuff. It'll all be saved in here and you can reset it whenever you want. But a lot of people like seeing those driving statistics, so it's always good to have that in the car as well. Next up, Google Assistant. Of course, like I've mentioned before, you can do just about anything in the car with Google Assistant, so it's always good to have a lot of ways to get to that. Then next up, Google Maps again. Google Maps, of course, we've already talked about it. It's fantastic, and it's worth noting that these cars do over-the-air software updates, so you're going to get constantly new updates for maps and things like that. So these are never going to become outdated. You're always going to get the best navigation system available when you have this car. Next up, we have messages. This is going to be for all of your texts and things like that. It won't let you kind of type it out as you're driving. You can do that all through voice with the Google Assistant in the car, but it'll show them out to you. You can read them when you're stopped. When you're driving, it will read them out to you, but it's nice to have a way to get to your text straight from inside the infotainment system. And then Apple CarPlay. Of course, these cars come standard with Apple CarPlay. You can hook up your phone and do a lot of the stuff that's already in the system there. I personally always prefer using the in-car infotainment system, like the Volvo one, rather than the Apple one. I think the Apple one's a bit too intrusive and gives you kind of too much information sometimes. And the designers of these cars, the software engineers, work so hard to make this such a good system. I kind of like using their stuff rather than having kind of a third party come in, and the configuration never seems to work right for me. So I'm always a proponent of using the in-car system rather than Apple CarPlay, but to each their own. And then we got settings. This one's going to be a little bit more of a deep dive. You can also get to that from this bottom home row here. There's also another button to get to the same thing for all of your in-car settings. So this is going to be where you can kind of control a lot of the different stuff in the car. So for instance, if you want to turn on and off the lights, of course you can do that with the stock there as well. But even just for like the display, things like that, adjusting the heads-up display height, you can do all of that stuff as well, turning on and off rear fog lights, all that kind of good stuff. Just a ton of stuff on here. Just really works well. A cool one in here as well is the clean screen button. Obviously got this massive screen here that you're going to be touching a lot, so it's going to get covered in fingerprints. Well, they thought about that. So if you ever do want to clean up your screen, which I always recommend having a microfiber towel in your car somewhere, but it's really nice to just have a screen where you can kind of clean it all up, and you won't have to worry about messing up buttons or pressing anything when you're not ready for it. So it's just a nice kind of blank screen here, and it'll let you do the whole thing, and then to get out of it, you just got to hold it down for a couple seconds, because of course when you're cleaning the screen, you're going to be kind of moving around all over the place. So nice little thing. Volvo's thinking about you and thinking about maintaining the car also. You can also control the wipers here, but you can of course do that from the stock as well. Your driver adjustments for moving the mirrors on this car, which is pretty unique. You actually adjust the mirrors from the buttons on the steering wheel. There is no conventional buttons on the side here for adjusting your mirrors. It's all done through the screen and through buttons on the steering wheel too, which is pretty cool. And it's worth noting these have some of the craziest mirrors of any car that I've ever seen. The glass on the mirror literally sticks all the way out to the edge, so you don't get that kind of extra kind of covering. You get to just see everything. It's fantastic. And then you also, of course, have other ways to open up the glove box, ways to open up the trunk in here, turning on and off some of the lane keeping assistance. If you don't want all-wheel drive all the time, you want to put it in rear-wheel drive mode, you can do that as well. And then the one-pedal driving. That is going to be where it uses the regenerative braking every time you let off the gas to slow the car down, so you don't effectively have to use the brakes very much. Some people like it, some people don't. It works really well in the Volvo. I really like how it kind of can still crawl when it wants to. And if you turn on the one pedal drive, when you come to a stop, you can just take your feet off the pedals. It's just going to sit there. I really like that feature. Some people like it, some people don't. So it's a good option to have it be available to turn on and off whenever you want. Other settings in here, I'm not going to go through every single thing in here because there's just an absolute ton, but a lot of the driving dynamics, things like that. These cars have a lot of safety systems built into it. Volvos are some of the safest cars on the market, have always been, and they continue to do so. So this car just has a ton of safety systems in here. So you can go through all of this, adjust any kind of little thing you want. If you like it when the steering wheel vibrates when you drift out of the lane, turning that on and off, all that good stuff. Just a ton of features in here. Just adjustments for everything. You can tune this car exactly how you want it. If you don't like the safety systems, you can turn them all on and off independently. If you do want them all on, you can adjust that, adjust when they kick in, all that kind of good stuff. So just tons of features in here as far as safety goes. And then you also have controls for the lights and things like that. A lot of this is kind of redundant from other kind of screens in here, but just adjustments for everything. Whenever you want the steering wheel moved, things like that, turning on and off the wireless charging pads, you can do that in here as well. So just a ton of different options. Basically anything you need for adjusting how the car works or turning on and off features, that's all going to be in this setting menu. Sound, that's going to be your equalizers for the sound system. You can tune that exactly how you want as well. Checking your connectivity for Bluetooth and the in-car Wi-Fi. The charging, you can schedule times for charging when you have lower electricity rates. The target battery level is really important because it's never good to fully charge an electric car all the way up to 100% every single time. They usually say about 80 or 90% is kind of the sweet spot so that you don't get battery degradation over time. But it is really good to allow you to do that all from inside the system here to get the most and the longest life out of the battery in the car. So you can choose to do that. If you're going on a long trip, you say, I do want that full 100% of charge there. You can set that up as well, or you can custom set it to be whatever you want. Say you only want it to charge for like an hour because you don't have a lot of driving to do the next day. You can do that as well, and you can schedule times when it does that. It'll just do everything as far as charging in here, unlocking the cables, tell your current charge while you're sitting here while it's charging, just all that good stuff all in there. And then next up for your driver's profiles, this is going to be for adding or deleting driver's profiles. All of the driver's profiles in the cars are all going to save to a key. With the EX90 in particular, it's pretty cool. This is your key fob. That's all you get is this little tiny thing here. It's very small, it just says Volvo on it. It's just this little tiny thing. There's no actual key, but then you do also get these very cool Volvo key cards. So you can use these instead of an actual key. So say you're doing some kind of activity where you don't want to have your key fob on you, because even though that thing is tiny, it's still probably really expensive. So you can just have this in your wallet, and then you can just hold it up to the door to let you in, stick it in the wireless charger, and then it'll allow you to start the car and operate it all without an actual key, which is fantastic. Always a good idea to have one of these, even as a backup, because I'm one of those people that walks out of their house without their key fob all the time. If I just had this in my wallet, I would save so much time in my life. So always a great idea having one of those little key cards. But you can do all of that if you want to match certain key cards or key fobs to different profiles. You can do all that through in here as well. You can also turn on and off settings for different users. So say you have a kid that's going to be using the car, you can turn on and off features specifically for them in their profile. And then with privacy, this one's a little boring, but there's a lot of like the legal stuff that you have to kind of have in every car. No point in going over it, honestly. The software updates, this is where it's going to do it all automatically. You can also tell the car to do a software update or update itself. Looks like the last one was in February up there for some security stuff. It did that as well. But I'm sure that it's going to have another update very soon. Looks like we're all up to date in here as well. You can also reset the whole system if you want, adjust the clock, all that kind of good stuff too. And then lastly, this is going to be for Google, for managing all of the Google Assistant in the car, turning on and off, all that stuff as well. And then we have the climate down here. You can press any of these buttons and it'll bring you to a similar menu in here, but this for turning on and off your fans, your speed, your heated seats, front defrosters, AC, whatever you want, recirculators, all that kind of stuff, and it'll allow you to choose which zone you're operating as well, whether it being the front or the back. And then next up we have the air quality. This is going to tell you what the quality of the air is outside the vehicle, and for some reason we have very poor air quality right now today in Illinois, so that's fantastic to hear, but inside the car it's good. So I'll just stay in here for the rest of the day, I guess. But yeah, we're all good inside the car. Again, Volvo just keeping you safe in every way possible, including air quality. So fantastic. And then you can also set timers. So this is great for electric cars. So with electric cars, obviously you can't remote start them to start cooling them down. But through the Volvo app or through inside the car, you can set a timer where, say, 10 minutes before you get in the car every day for work, if it's really hot or really cold, you can set that timer where it's going to automatically start the car so that it's allowed to heat up or cool down so that when you get in the car, it's nice and comfortable for you. Just fantastic. I always recommend doing this, whether it's via the app or just having the timer in your car. It is just so nice being able to get in the car on a hot day and it's already cool, or in our freezing Chicago winters, when it's ice cold outside, you just get in the car and your heated seats are already warm and everything. It's just fantastic. So definitely something that I would use all the time if I was in here. And of course, you can adjust the temperatures on here as well with these kind of smaller pop-up menus that show up there as well. And then we got the hazards down here. But you can see they keep it very, very simple in these systems. There's not a whole lot to do. You can, of course, download more apps if you want to, but Volvo wants to keep it very, very simple. They're not interested in people being distracted in their cars while they're driving, so they want to keep things nice and simple. Just have a great, simple layout for everything. And that's what I think Volvo does so well. I'm not surprised that they didn't add just tons and tons of features everywhere. They wanted to keep it easy to use for everyone to get in and operate everything with relative ease. Of course, these cars can do a ton of other cool stuff. I've made some other videos on the EX90. It's one of my favorite cars that I've driven all of last year and this year too. But just an incredible, incredible car. I highly recommend taking out one for a test drive. You will absolutely fall in love with it before even leaving the parking lot. I guarantee it. The first 10 feet of driving this car, you just think, oh my God, this car's fantastic. So yeah, really, really good job, Volvo. I love this new generation that they're going for, and their new infotainment system is very, very good. So definitely recommend it. Fantastic job, Volvo. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you learned something as well. If you ever need any help with parts, sales, or service, or if you did get a new 2025 Volvo and you want to know how to use this infotainment system, stop on by, call us, send us an email, ask us a question, leave us a comment on YouTube, whatever you want. We'll be happy to answer it and get you sorted out. So thank you all so much for watching. We'll see you in a video very, very soon. Have a great day.